Good morning, Andy Lockwood here from Lockwood College Prep with another installment of College Coffee Talk. This is a weekly Friday morning college coffee and questions, college coaching, free hour of firing away your burning college-related questions. So I do these every week, mainly because this is an opportunity for me to, for free, answer your burning questions. I've said this before, I had a very lucrative free one-on-one advice business last year and the year before. We saw staggering growth in our free one-on-one advice business. But because of lifestyle concerns and monetary concerns, I decided to step away from the free one-on-one business, but I still want to be able to give people advice and answer questions that they're not getting answers to about college financial aid and scholarships and you name it, getting into college, building a college list, negotiating with colleges, SAT and ACT prep questions to the extent that I'm able to actually answer those intelligently, and so forth. So if you're just joining us and this is your first time, I hope you enjoy our little college coffee talk sessions. They're every week at 9 Eastern on Fridays, and this is your opportunity to pop your questions into the comment section here. Fire away, try to stump me, and I will, if you're here with me live, I'll be able to address those, and we get a lot of people watching on replay, so same deal, pop them into the comment section, and I'll do my best. So let me see, do my best to answer them. So let me see who's joining us so far. I had a little bit of a power issue at the house, in the home studio today. So I had to, that's why we're getting a little bit of a late jump here. I had to rush over and make do because I couldn't get on the interwebs at the house. We had a storm here recently. I don't think that was the issue though, because half the house had power, half didn't. So my preferred method of fixing stuff is turning everything off and on. That's like 50% of my repertoire right there. So that didn't work, and Pearl was up before me. She did the same thing. So half of our house has power and half doesn't. The sad thing, the disturbing thing is that while the washer dryer is working, that has power, the dishwasher does not. So I did a little bit of hand washing today. Is that really such a horrible thing to do? I was moaning and I thought it was like the worst thing in the world. And I thought to myself, if this is like as bad as it gets for me, I guess I don't really have much to complain about. So anyway, so that's why we started late, and I want to talk to you, I guess, about a couple other things that have come up recently. So Pearl and I do a weekly show on Tuesdays called College Talk Tuesday. We talk about kind of here's what you should be doing now type stuff. It's not really as interactive as College Coffee Talk because this is more about your specific questions, but I spoke to a couple people after Tuesday, and one of which was a person who's interested in. She was referred by another client. She's interested in potentially working with us. Her son's in 9th grade, so that's kind of on the early side. But she lives in New York City, so that's not early for New York City. So she's feeling kind of pressure, and that she needs some guidance. And I said to her, I was like, look, the advice that we give certainly can impact you because you're going to have all these decisions and all these inflection points between 9th grade and 12th, and you're going to be judged on the body of work that you will have created since 9th grade, in some cases earlier, frankly. But I said to her, I think that in many cases, I think kids just aren't ready to take that advice in 9th grade. And she said, okay, I appreciate that, so I'll call you back to schedule a time to come in. I said, well, just talk to your son first and make sure he's potentially ready to work with a college coach. Okay, so that was I think Tuesday, and then I got an email on Wednesday. Hey, I have one more question. He just made the volleyball team, but now he's thinking about doing something else. And what do you think? And it was like a 6-paragraph email. So I didn't answer it, mostly because I'm just so busy right now trying to negotiate offers for seniors and help my juniors and people who are actual clients of ours. But the questions that she was asking, I think, are sort of fair, broadly speaking, fair questions for any parent who has a junior or a sophomore or a freshman. So this really is an opportunity for me to address those for free. So I'm not going to respond to her one-on-one on email until if and when I have time. But what I want to point out to anyone watching, or if you have any friends or family, anyone you know who's a parent of a college-bound teen, and you want some advice and you don't want to pay for it, this is an opportunity to do that. But for one-on-one advice, I'm not the guy to do it for free. We charge for our advice. So, all right. So that being said, that was almost, I didn't want to go into a rant, but that being said, let me talk to you broadly about the question. So the question was, he's playing a sport, but he's not sure if he should do that or other things. And sometimes that question comes up not in freshman year, but in sophomore or junior year, along the lines of, well, I'm thinking about continuing, but I want to drop it because it's too much. I want to focus on academics. Is that a bad thing? Same thing with languages. Same thing with maybe one or two other types of questions broadly around how should I spend my time, and does it look bad to stop doing something? So my answer for those types of questions is, it really depends on how you're going to be spending your time if you drop the sport or if you drop the language. So on one hand, yes, colleges like to see, admissions officers like to see continuity, like you started something and you stuck with it. But on the other hand, if you're not going to be a pro volleyball player or pro swimmer or something like that, which I think for 99.99% of the people that I know, that's not the case, and you're interested in trying to beef your grades up, okay, I would say consider dropping the sport or the language if you fulfill the requirements, but don't just take an easy class or put in a free period or something like that. I think it's an opportunity for you to demonstrate that you're spending your time productively, and that could be taking another challenging course. It could be doing an internship in a field that you're considering going into as a profession, or majoring in something related to that in college, that type of thing. So the continuity aspect of it is important, but I think sometimes it gets a little overblown and bent out of proportion. So that really is the gist of my answer. But beyond that, that's sort of the general perspective, and then you've got to make specific choices. Okay, well, if I'm not doing X, then what about Y or Z or A, B, and C? So that's where the personalized advice comes in. But there's really nothing wrong inherently with dropping a sport or dropping a language. I've had a few questions like that recently, because this time of year kids are picking their courses, I guess, for next year, both here in New York and other parts of the country. So, all right. So let me just pop over, see who is with us today. I see loyal viewers, Jimmy G, and check me out, Francis Checkmate. Francis, Fran, you had a very interesting thing that Pro was telling me about this past week with, I don't even know if I could even describe what the financial aid issue was, but it had to do with a bunch of schools that your son applied to. So this is just, I just want to talk kind of generally about this also. So Fran's son, Walter, got into an Ivy League school. He applied early and heard early, but which is unbelievable. And I'm very happy for you, by the way. But at the same time, and very strategically and intelligently, Walter also applied to a bunch of other colleges. So we submitted financial aid forms. Pearl, my wife, submitted the financial aid forms to several, basically every other school that Walter applied to. And I won't get specifically about the issue, but my point here is that once that was filed, that triggered a couple of corrections, because there was a problem with the FAFSA this year. There was an issue with how income from the tax returns got dumped into the FAFSA. So everything was well and good at the Ivy League school that he got into, but the other schools, once they got the financial aid forms, they had to make corrections because of this issue that had nothing to do with Fran. So long story short, the school that Walter's going to, they also received word of corrections, and they required more work. So my point here is that sometimes people wonder about what it takes to file the financial aid forms. It's not like you're filing a tax return, you send it in, or your accountant sends it in, and you're done. In financial aid, a lot of times, and I think, Fran, you can attest to this, that's just where it starts. You file the forms, and then there's this like boatload of annoying questions and corrections and alarming emails saying, we didn't get your forms, and all that type of stuff. But in reality, there's a lot more to do after submitting the forms. And even now, here we are in March, and he found out that he got in, I think, in December, and a great, I felt like it was a very good, result financially as well as admissions wise. But there's still lingering stuff that's, probably not quite done. Although Pearl took care of what she had to a couple of days ago this week. So this process is like, it's stupid too. I mean, there's nothing substantive about any of it. It's just, and at the same time, Pearl's had other types of similar issues. There was a college that said, hey, to one of our other clients, hey, we didn't get your A, B, C, D, and E documents. Please log into our portal and you'll see exactly what's required. Pearl goes into the college's portal and she sees document A, satisfied. Document B, received, satisfied. Document C. So so one hand doesn't know what the other one's doing. The whole point is that this is overly complicated. At some point, will it be streamlined? I guess. But it's not, I don't know what the deal is, other than it's a low priority, or maybe it takes too much budget for schools to coordinate this in conjunction with the Federal Department of Education. Maybe it's a low priority. Maybe there's who knows? It could be everything. Could be other stuff too. But just because you file a form, that doesn't mean that you're done. That's my point. There's way too much stuff that happens afterward, and 99% of it is just dumb. Okay, so. Jimmy commenting on my shirt and his not old, paramour Lisa. Lisa has a couple of kids who we're working with right now. One very smart engineering kid, and one very smart, just social, like a mini Lisa, like wants to save the world type of kid. Very interesting how everyone turns out a little bit different. Jimmy's very different. All right, so what else? I want to talk to you about tonight. We're doing on our new test prep page, Lockwood Test Prep on Facebook, we're doing a last-minute game day pregame, I guess, walkthrough for kids who are taking the SAT tomorrow. Just some last-minute tips and calming. What to look for and all that. So Marissa does these our tutor. She does these bonus webinars at the last minute after she's done instructing the class instruction. So the SAT is tomorrow. We have a bunch of kids taking that tomorrow that she worked with. But what we thought we would do would be to open up to the whole universe of people taking the SAT. The same type of last minute tips. That if you have any kids who are stressed out, they just want to kind of run through a couple of things one more time, to the best that we can do that on the over the internet. That's what she's there for. So we do these after kids are done with courses or done with their tutoring packages or the tutoring sessions. We usually do a night before walkthrough. Just to make sure everyone has a chance to, get their jitters calmed down and shake out their sillies and hear, even if they hear the same thing for the third time or the fifth time from Marissa that they'd sat through in class or in one-on-one tutoring, sometimes it just helps to hear it again. Sometimes things click after the fifth time or so. So that's why we're doing that. Tonight it's going to be 5 o'clock, and I think I have a post on this page for that. Just in case I don't, or in case you can't see it, you can go to the page on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Lockwood Test Prep. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap it up here, unless anyone has any other who do I see? We have about I see 6 or 7 people coming on and off right now, which is nice. If you're just joining us, this is an opportunity to fire away any college questions, any college coaching questions, and I do every week on every Friday at 9 o'clock or so. And we got a little bit of a late jump today. I see some stuff coming in here. Barb, I thought of the funniest thing. I don't think I can tell you on the. I think I'll private message you. I don't think I can tell you on the internet. But I was giggling to myself as I was cleaning up this room here this morning. So I don't know if you'll appreciate it or not, but I'll private message you that. Anyone else though who has any more appropriate college-related questions, this is the opportunity, both live or on distant replay, to fire away questions about getting into college and paying for college and so forth. So yes, but I'm going to sign off here because it doesn't look like anyone has any burning questions. That's fine. I have to go deal with the power loss at our house, which doesn't really mean me doing anything other than just kind of walking the electrician around and trying to get out of his way, but acting like I know what I'm talking about. But that's going to be about it. So I'll get to the questions on replay. And if you have a kid who's about to take the SAT tomorrow, go to Lockwood, the page for Lockwood Test Prep tonight at 5 o'clock. That is a free event just to go over last minute questions, tips, strategies, you name it. All right, I'm gonna sign off now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around. See you around the Facebook. Bye.